So people were telling me to review BNA after I made a video about Beastars, and apparently it has really weird animal transformation stuff. So I watched it and I need to make a video about it. So this is my BNA review. First episode impressions. Right up, I see the most cliche thing as I realize I am watching Scooby-Doo. Main character notices bad guy. Camera shows bad guys, camera moves back to girl. Uh-oh, she disappeared. We then see she lodged herself up into a vent to show that she has reason to hide due to her appearance she was obviously trying to cover up. I would have liked the start to be when she was escaping on the roof of the bus because of the extra atmosphere and it's not a dirty old hallway with nothing around. And I'm basically going to be telling you all the spoilers I can. I actually wrote down a bunch of notes while I was watching it, so I'm going to just like add these in randomly. That's gonna be fun. Anyway, I guess they wanted to be subtle at first by showing a poster being graffitied instead of just starting with, hey, we hate you. Oh no. Yeah, we gonna kill now. Oh, I hope someone saves me. Yeah, I'm holding a knife in my hand and attack. Yeah, I feel like they should have just killed the first character at the start. Just replace the character with another character and just kill them off like they did in Beastars. It's more realistic, it's more surprising, and it just makes more sense. It just seemed like they just wanted to put the character in a super vulnerable situation just to show conflict. But because it's the main character, they obviously had to be saved randomly, leading to more confusion. I mean, where did they even come from? Why aren't they in the city we just saw? I guess it's a nice surprise, but I kind of expected it. Now, so far, I actually don't know who to trust. The anime clearly shows humans as evil, racist, and all that, but so far, I haven't actually seen the main character do anything good or bad. And in terms of picking a side between humans and Beastmen, I just saw Beastmen save the girl. But at the same time, brutally and forcefully do the exact same things the humans were about to do to the girl. So one bad strike for the humans. Main character remains neutral. Beastmen are perhaps nicer because they didn't kill the humans. So like a half bad strike. This isn't a critique. This is just one of my notes I wrote down. So yeah, it's just a thought. And actually, the best character I've seen so far is really the mayor, because that's the only character that's done something good. Built a city for people. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, my points don't really make much sense, because if we were to remove the main character from the start, then we wouldn't be able to see the prejudice affecting her and the skills she had, like her tail expanding. Maybe I just wanted somebody to die. Oh well. So let's skip more into the episode now. We find ourselves on this weird, city. Penguins, very original. It seems to be like an isolated island away from the rest of the human population. We still haven't really seen much from the humans, but so far they're evil still. Anyway, she walks in and there's like, no, there's no one there. So what does she do? She goes into the center to look around, obviously. And she spots somebody, a few more people than somebody, and it suddenly turns into a zombie apocalypse with just werewolf sounds for some reason. Is this like a town for wolves? No? If we've ever learned anything from Zootopia, it's that you don't want to start a howling.
Gary, quit it. You're gonna start a howl.
Especially in a city with nothing but wolves. That's just one of my notes. Okay, and are they naked? Okay, I like the symmetry shot here, but all I can think about is Slither.io clickbait thumbnails. So let me just sum up the rest of this episode. She then walks around the festival, meets the weasel, Mink, destroys the festival with her explosive fist, almost dies again, but yay, cute wolf boy saves her. Now that's some sexy running. And trigger time, boom, pow, We find these beastmen work for the humans, nice. I'm loving the color palette, by the way. It reminds me of those trendy 3D glasses. Bye. Then the stupid main character shows up, cause, sir, someone took my wallet and I saw an explosion here, so I thought it would be a good idea to join in. Oh, and also, can you stop hurting the bad guys? Alright, and I'm a human.
Then why do you look like that?
Good question. I actually have no idea. Well, I guess that's a nice way of adding suspense for episode 2. So far, the main points is that there's this weird divide between the Beastmen and the humans, where the Beastmen are the people who can, like, transform, and the humans... Sorry, guys. Sorry, you don't get to transform. It's also very obvious that the Beastmen are more powerful, so I don't know why they're the ones being picked on, but we'll just ignore that for now. Well, they're currently using this anima city for, like, a safe escape from the humans, so there's definitely issues there. Oh, and also, some really weird, powerful tail move that she did for suspense into the next episode. Oh, and I forgot to mention, cute wolf boy can see through walls. Walls! He can see through buildings, and the past, and the future, and through the past. Crazy. He does all this with his nose. His nose! So now we have the BNA ending song, and I think the animators have a thing for symmetry. Just a bit. Now on to episode 2. So it basically starts off with this line by Mishiru, which I really like.
I thought he'd be older.
Yeah, about 1,000 years older perhaps. So this episode mainly just made me understand that this is really the only character that can see both perspectives of Beastmen and humans. This seems to be heading towards morals and racism. So now she's getting her ID back. But oh no, the line is too long. Time to go strangle the thief instead, and now find herself involved with a gang teaching children about to be sold. Look, here's the problem. She just gets in too much trouble. Thanks Sonic Hacks XD for letting me know how much of a brat she is. This episode doesn't really do much except throw in a gang. A few times she said she's a human, and then what the fuck? Those arms, girl! I don't want to see that again. Good luck with that, but I'm moving on to episode 3. So now we get some character development going on here. And I don't mean the physical development, I mean the expected character development that most people wanted. I like this episode quite a lot actually. Reminds me of a Zootopia detective sort of style. Except what is with all the bombs? And I don't mean just this episode.
Bomb.
Bomb.
Bomb. Bomb. Bomb. Bomb. Bomb.
Bombs.
Bomb.
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 Bombs.
Bomb.
Bombing. Bomb.
I know this is Studio Trigger we're talking about, but seriously? It's like they had the option to involve some character development, maybe some more episodes. Bombs! How about we just blow everything up instead? I don't know, it just seems like their go-to plan for entertainment. Now, episode 4. We find out Beastmen can transform to part animal because of something in their bodies called beast deoxyribonucleic acid. Wow, I actually said that. Then the mayor says this ridiculous statement.
Beastmen have always lived in this world, without coming into contact with Homo sapiens.
Without contact with Homo sapiens.
So, did Beastmen just hide or pretend to be human? I really can't believe this statement. And in episode 8, you literally said this.
1,000 years ago, Beastmen and humans used to trade with each other. Not only did they coexist, they were friends.
Without contact.
So, the mayor's a liar?
Once the existence of animalized humans became apparent, conflicts ensued.
Yeah, I would expect conflict when people realize there are humans, secretly part animal, who have been lying to you for years. Although, I can't even believe this statement because you just said
They were friends, without coming into contact with Homo sapiens.
and even Rooster Man said it himself.
Beastmen and humans have coexisted in different ways.
Perhaps she means a different time frame, but yeah, I think she's totally wrong here. Well anyway, in case you didn't know, Mishiru has some really weird problems where not only was she human to start with and then turned into a Beastman, which is supposed to be impossible, but she's also got this problem where she keeps transforming and no one knows why. This mystery is like a huge part of the story, so the mayor tries to explain this to her.
But when you transform, your cells undergo a very explosive cellular mitosis.
Ah, rapid duplication of cells. Oh, sorry to break it to you, Mishiru, but I think you have cancer.
Can it be cured?
We haven't reached any conclusions yet.
Hey, did I mention this guy can see through walls? Oh, and he can smell your conversations from over a year ago. All he has to do is smell this card right here, and he can smell this girl's conversations she had with her friend over a year ago. This guy is insane. And also, why couldn't he just smell Mishiru? If he could just smell the card and see into her past conversations with her friend, then I'm pretty sure he could have just smelt her, but I guess that would have ruined any reason for her to get her card back. Now, I want to get into explaining what all this furry stuff is. Anthro characters can be more interesting than humans. This is because of the extra creative and complex tasks that come with extra appendages like tails, ears, wings, and the general differences between species. Usually, when plots contain characters that break human constraints, they are often represented as superheroes, powerful entities, monsters, aliens, you know the sorts. This is often to make sense of the characters that have special abilities. However, when I see anthropomorphized characters having abilities, I can see their animal side is not always just an excuse for their abilities, as they often portray more about the character through expectations of their species. Which means there would be positives and obviously negatives about it, but I'm mostly going to be talking about the positives. So, for example, you're walking through a forest with your friend. Zach, look out. And a bear comes out and eats your friend. Look what's happening to me. You will probably think bears are fierce and nasty from that experience and assume a negative stereotype. Yep. It's like they're wearing their personality, making it easier to learn about the character without the writers having to say what they are. It's like she just transforms and it's like,
What was that?
don't mess with her. She's tough. So basically what I'm saying is they can use your general assumption about a species to their advantage. While this sounds like it constricts personalities and character development due to stereotyping and giving characters labels, and you're right, it does, it can become immediately more interesting when a character is revealed to act not as expected, which makes it all the more surprising and emotional. Now, this deep character reveal is often used in Beastars and BNA, as Legoshi in Beastars is purposely being weak and small despite his strong physical appearance at the start, while Louis is the complete opposite. In BNA, our first impression of wolves is seen as a massive, unstoppable force closing in on the main character, supposedly about to be attacked. But after realizing it was a misunderstanding and wasn't really our first encounter with a wolf, we then see our true first real encounter with a wolf, which is actually just some wolf happily crying in public. Quite a difference. This can be taken as surprising, interesting, and kind of funny. Oh, and the bears that ate my friend. They also take an interesting turn and are actually really cute and goofy.
Bears, please, 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 please!
Now we move on to episode 5, and this is the baseball episode. Apparently it's the best episode, however, personally, I don't really like baseball, so I didn't really like this episode at all, and it seemed really irrelevant to the original story. However, what made it interesting is that this is no ordinary game of baseball. It is a gambling game of death. Oh, and I noticed some detail here of the animator's humor. He is drinking a can of life in a game of death. Anyway, my favorite part of this episode is when she is freaking smashing that wall with the baseball. Like, damn. Other than that, I think it's time to move on to episode 6. Also, I never mentioned anything about the OP. This is literally my first impression. Kitten Sanders. Dogway. What the heck? They shouldn't have included that in the episode 1 opening, because I was really disappointed seeing that for the first time. Okay, so episode 6 has a lot happen. I don't want to get too specific, but religion is involved on something called the Silver Wolf, burning at the stake, more religion, old friend visits but now manipulated into being a religious figure, and Mishiru gets roasted. Big time.
You haven't changed one single bit. Decide that you feel sorry for other people, and then go and feel good about yourself for helping out even though no one asked you to.
Friendship is now over, and so is the episode. Now episode 7. Another Birdman shows up, and this time with bombs, except you don't know that yet, so you get to see his good side through this heavily coincidental act.
Be careful up there!
Michiru, no!
That was actually the most stupid part so far. Now the religious cult is starting to pick up, and this human I've never mentioned sadly exists. He's quite annoying and very suspicious too.
I'm going to be the new director, so I can personally oversee the medical center. Bye now.
He also runs the medical center, so he is relied upon and actually often knows more than the mayor. Now episode 8. Teach me your ways, Mishiru! Finally, some action that doesn't require a gust of wind to get the characters off the ground. No one knows what is happening and why this guy got so big, except that creepy mask guy Boris. Oh, and this guy. Well, I love how all the police in this scene are all dogs. One dog looks pretty funny with his hands. Pew, 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 pew. This dog just jumps out the window and runs in midair. And music is epic, man. Now, I ain't gonna spoil who, but Silverwolf exists and kills Giant Rhino. Now Mishiru knows who it is, and her old friend is pretending to be the Silver Wolf, so this gets tough. Episode 9, 10, and 11, I'm gonna just skip, because that's for you to watch. Episode 12, however, is a banger. Here's the trigger fight scenes you wanted, and while they are fighting with lasers, Mishiru isn't liking the disco lights, and after all of this mayhem, Nazuna shows up like, hi guys, how's it going? Later, Nazuna runs away from giant killer snake dude like, in case you couldn't tell, Nazuna gets on my nerves. Mishiru may be a brat, but Nazuna just doesn't act right. That face annoys me. Now I want to quickly look through some Japanese folklore of tanukis. So the main character is a tanuki,
So you're a tanuki.
otherwise known as a raccoon dog. You may have seen Mario become one. Well, you see this statue thing thrown around the anime from time to time. Like every time they have a conversation in a room, it's creepily standing there. Yeah, that's a common tanuki statue. I was curious, so I looked into it. According to Japanese folklore, tanukis are shapeshifters, so this goes quite well with the story. They are also capable of transforming back to human, however, they apparently may require a leaf to do so. This is seen in the anime as well. Tanukis have also been legendarily known to use their sacks as makeshift raincoats, as weapons, and as drums. Wait, they're known for their balls? Well, I'm glad they didn't add that into the anime. If you look up tanuki folklore, you get a bunch of images of huge tanuki balls attacking people and all sorts of weird stuff I wish I never saw. I guess that's why Mishiru didn't want to be a tanuki.
So you're a tanuki.
I don't want to be that!
Apparently Nazuna, a fox, has her own Japanese folklore as well. The fox has many similarities to the tanuki, except they are enemies. Oh, and I don't think the fox uses their balls for everything. Now, the anime clearly showed them as becoming enemies, but soon they talked things over and became friends again. So that's interesting. Well, after watching and reviewing BNA, I can say I quite liked it. However, I definitely felt like they were constantly just piling on more and more stuff very quickly. Every episode is so different and giving so many different feelings. It just feels very over the top. I guess I'd say it was inconsistent, but I encourage you to watch it if you haven't already because it's awesome, and please subscribe and let me know what your favorite character is.